well. On the road, you have to play well. It starts with shooting the ball.
Wyking Jones with a change to the lineup, inserting the 7'3" freshman Connor Vanover, who's had back-to-back double-digit scoring performances. Justice Sewing is averaging 20 points in each of his last 3 games. Meanwhile, for Oregon State, Stevie Thompson Jr. has been a fantastic scorer here at Gill Coliseum in the league. He's over 24 points per game here at home. And then, of course, his brother Ethan alongside with Trace Tinkle, who's battling an ankle injury, but still is leading the league in conference scoring.
Well, Trace really knows how to play. Everybody's talking about Oregon State didn't play well, but you got to give Stanford credit. They did play well, and that's a part of it, the whole thing.
Cal has won the last 6 meetings between these two. Oregon State will start with the basketball in white. It's Ethan Thompson, along with his brother Stevie. There's Zach Reichel with it, and Kyler Kelly, the nation's leader in blocks on the inside. The ball stays with Oregon State, 18 on the shot clock.
Cal opens in his zone, and they did a pretty good job of protecting the middle as Kelly broke up to catch the ball at the high post.
His team really struggled to shoot on Thursday night here. They made a season-low 1 3-pointer in the game. It stays with Oregon State, 12 on the clock now. And they only took 12 threes in that game.
You've got to penetrate the zone, whether it be via the dribble or via the pass, but you've got to get to the interior of the zone to shrink it and then get the ball on the outside. You see Cal bring the big guy outside.
A blocking foul, and that is on Juwan Harris-Dyson, his first team first.
Looks like he waited to see if the ball went in. A lot of times officials will wait to see if the ball goes in. And if it goes in, they won't make the call. But if it doesn't, sometimes they'll then make the call.
Chris Rastatter, Rick Batzel, and Ryan McDaniel are officiating crew as Stevie Thompson Jr. gets Oregon State on the board. Wyking Jones and his team came in, had a practice yesterday. What did you think watching Cal work?
A lot of enthusiasm. Coaches are on them fairly, telling them that they've got to stay engaged. And there's a lot of spirit, a lot of talking, guys running hard. At some point, something good's got to happen for Cal. Give them some feel good for the work that they're putting in. So far, it hasn't been there.
Here's Justice Sewing, and he gets the foul on Zach Reichel. That's the first on Reichel, first Oregon State team foul.
You made the point to me, Guy, that Justice Sewing gets to the line about as well as anybody in the league. Again, he too is left-handed, but he can shoot the ball, and he sets up his drive with the ability to shoot the ball. Got in the interior, created contact, goes to the line.
Where he's 83%. He was 9 of 10 in the loss Wednesday to Oregon. And to that point, Coach, he averages almost 6 free throws per 40 minutes, which is the 4th best free throw rate in the conference. A free throw percentage per 40 in the conference.
He looks, every bit of 6'7", standing next to him. Sometimes guys say, he's not 6'7". He is. Now Cal comes out in pressure, trying to create tempo, see if they can't get a turnover. Just a pester press, really.
Ethan Thompson gets it across.
But if you can recover back into a zone out of that, you take a lot of the time that Oregon State might need to set up, and there's just 12 on the clock, and Oregon State really hadn't done much.
Trace Thompson down inside, and there is Vanover for the block. Thompson about to get hit in the jaw. Here comes Harris-Dyson stepping through, misses the layup, and Reichel pulls it down. Kyler Kelly pointing for the ball. Then he lost it, hit his hands last as Paris Austin came flying through to disrupt.
Well, you can see Vanover in there. He doesn't really have to jump at all with that length that he has. 7'3" long arms. You drive in, and if you don't create contact or go above the rim, there's a pretty good chance he's going to get a piece of it. Oregon State now back in the zone of their own. A lot of zones in the league this year, Guy.
Cal shoots the ball at 40%. But Sewing gets free for a high arc or too short. Stevie Thompson Jr. racing up the floor. Reichel wants it on the wing. He's been struggling from the outside, but he knocks that 3 in.
That's a nice lift for Reichel. He has not been shooting the ball, and that's really why he's in there. That's what he does do.
Just 1 for his last 13 from beyond the arc. The long 2 swish to answer for Darius McNeil.
Good ball movement, wide open shots, patience against the zone, don't force, get the ball to the people that you want to shoot it.
Ethan Thompson. This team very good at those floaters. They weren't falling against Stanford the other night, but they like taking them.
Well, the defense, that to me was a defensive error. He forced him from coming back to the middle, but just gave a clear lane. Keep the ball on the outside if you're inside. Make him shoot over the top of him.
Tinkle out ensuing, and it creates a turnover. Stevie Thompson Jr. cuts it loose. Thompson not hit a three in either of the last two games, so a rare cold streak for Stevie.
This is probably not fair, Guy, but the last two possessions, a couple of things that Cal did would indicate. There's the Vanover, 7'3", draws nothing from the perimeter.
He's a 33% three-point shooter. Kelly couldn't put that in.
Starting to say that you're seeing mistakes that teams are struggling make, trying to cross-court the ball against his zone press. Doesn't work.
And Tinkle knocks that away. Another steal for Oregon State. Tinkle gets inside and spins it down. Nice move.
Did you see that little hesitation there? He got it lifted. The defender stood up thinking he was done, and he just went and laid it off the glass.
Right out of the pregame package.
Yeah, smart basketball play by a smart basketball player.
This is a 2-second bucket for McNeil.
Reichel left-handed as well.
Stevie Thompson.
2-on-1 break. Should score on this.
McNeil will take it himself, and he does.
Good choice right there. McNeil left-handed, but was able to lay it off the glass. Could have dished it as well, but he took the two.
Stevie Thompson Jr. slices inside.
They're just penetrating the Bears zone. You can't let that happen. That's why you play a zone. Keep the ball on the perimeter. Don't allow them to penetrate.
Up top to Vanover, and Kyler Kelly fouls him.
You watch Tinkle here coming down. He's on the left side on the dribble. Takes it all the way.
From court side.
Ellie and Jocelyn.
That's right. I think the first question Wayne ever gets every time he sees a new crew in town is, your daughters coming to the game? He said sometimes he feels like they get more TV time than his team. But what a great family atmosphere they're able to have around this program. Vanover was fouled before the timeout by Kyler Kelly. The first on Kelly, who sits down, and Grigorije Rakorčević comes into the game for Oregon State. And now Andre Kelly for Cal is going to check in for Vanover.
So we exchanged length for girth.
Vanover at 7'3", Kelly at 6'8", but about 30 pounds heavier. Here's Stevie Thompson with a head of steam, and Rakorčević can't handle that one. And here comes Matt Bradley now off the bench for Cal, one of the best three-point shooters in the league and the nation, at nearly 50%. He feeds it into Kelly on Rakorčević.
Kelly, a much different player, Guy. He's a spin, playoff contact guy inside there.
Tinkle passed up the three for Ethan Thompson. And now a foul is called on Paris Austin. That's his first, and it's the second Cal foul.
You know, one of the things that happens when you're trying to play hard, you're trying to be aggressive, you want to win so badly, is you play a little bit more aggressively than you're going to be allowed to play. You got to be careful. You got to control your emotions out here. It's a long game.
Oregon State did not lead at any point on Thursday in the loss to Stanford. That was about a 9 or 10 game for seemingly the duration. Andre Kelly with the interception.
Big G didn't hold his spot inside. Bradley got around very nicely. It was Kelly that got around very nicely, anticipated that pass.
Kelly battling with Rakorčević inside. McNeil with 6 points already in this game. 8 on the shot clock. Now 5. McNeil a 3, and he knocks it down.
Great patience, and it got an inside-outside draw kick look. And he can shoot the ball.
He's into double figures. Foul on Justice Suing. Take a look at Cal get that bucket on the other end.
Clock's running down. He drives into the defense and kicks it to the corner. Maybe overcommitment on help right there that wasn't necessary. Didn't need that much help. Allowed the shooter to catch and shoot. Jacoby Gordon in for the Bears. Another freshman. Cal's got a bunch of them.
Alfred Hollins in for Oregon State. Thompson around Gordon, and Gordon commits the foul before the shot on the floor. That's the first on Gordon and the 14th foul.
Cal hustling in this zone, but they're giving Oregon State angles. They're giving them passing and dribbling lanes into the middle of the zone. They've got to square up a little bit more.
To your point, Coach, on Gordon, the freshman coming in, Cal is 342nd in the nation in experience out of 353 teams, according to Ken Palm. Here's Harris Dyson out ahead.
Wanted to dunk it, but thought better and have a smart play. Take the bucket. Another turnover that leads to a run out for the Bears against Oregon State. Neither team handling and playing against the zone extremely well yet.
7 minutes gone by here in the first. A battle underneath between Kelly and Korchovich, and the foul is on Andre Kelly.
It's all right. You can accept that. Playing hard inside there. So many times it's a 50-50 call. You have to make a decision as official who's creating the contact. Defense is allowed to have a spot. They're allowed to get around and defend. Offense just can't wall you off and keep moving their feet and keep you behind.
It's actually a double foul. Korchovich and Kelly. The officials getting this straight here. Wayne Tinkle just found out that it's also on Korchovich. He was part of a double foul on Thursday.
Well, that's a cop-out to me. Make a decision. Somebody fouled somebody, or at least they did it first, and then maybe the defense reacted back or the offense reacted back. But see the whole play and make the call.
Here's Stevie Thompson. A look at a three. 0 for 2 from beyond the arc, but there's Korchovich getting a second opportunity. Tinkle gets fouled. That's on Harris Dyson.
Tinkle always around the ball. Just senses where it's going to come, and there he is. The ball shot. You can see right here. Korchovich did a nice job. Gets it blocked. Tinkle right there. See how he waits, though, guy. He's in no hurry. He waits for the defense to commit, and then he goes up and creates contact. Because with that ankle right now, he's playing below the rim most of the time. Got pretty quiet. Oregon State shooting free throws.
Tinkle at almost 80% on the year. He's on pace to become the first Oregon State player in the program's history to lead the team in points, rebounds, and assists twice in his career. As Antoine Vernon checks in for Stevie Thompson Jr. Now Paris Austin back in for Darius McNeil.
When you think about that accomplishment, a lot of younger people would say, well, Oregon State had been great. You think back in the history of Oregon State basketball, there have been great players playing this program.
And Tinkle carving his name, and of course still with another year after this eligibility to climb up the all-time scoring list. He's already in the top 10. Bradley turns it over, and it goes back to Oregon State.
That's the thing where if you're the coach, Joaquin Jones, you just have to stay patient with your young players. They had a break, and he throws a bounce pass out of bounds with numbers. That's the kind of thing that just kills you.
Quick double on Antoine Vernon, who somehow rips through and gets it out to Tinkle.
That's a good reaction by the defense. Not expected by OSU. Down to single digits on the shot clock now.
Backdoor to Tinkle, or maybe it was Korchovich. Tinkle glances at the shot clock on the other end and then flicks that up and in.
That's what we're talking about. It's just that footwork and the knowledge of how to get a shot to the glass. Oregon State was in trouble in that possession, but they found a way to get a bucket. Back to 1-point lead.
Tinkle with 6 points. so far in this first. Here's Austin from 14 feet. The Cows come ready to play.
A nice take against man that time by Austin. A little smaller, quicker. If he can get in the lane, he can score the ball. He doesn't have great three-point range. You see again what we're talking about with Tinkle with the footwork. Late clock, he knew it. He reversed
Of 2018 against Oregon State. That was at Haas Pavilion in Berkeley, and this is the only meeting between these two this season. Tinkle to Rekorjevic for the one-handed jam.
Saw them work on that play in practice yesterday, and that was executed to perfection. Tinkle breaking up in the middle and throwing behind to Big G behind for the dunk. Well done out of a timeout by Wayne Tinkle.
Oregon State back in front. This is Paris Austin. Bradley, a contested three, and that was Ethan Thompson who badly bothered that shot.
Made him take it back and didn't foul him, which was a smart play.
Bradley then cuts Tinkle off, and now Ethan Thompson will set it up.
The one thing that affects people, Guy, is when you miss shots. Can you come down and extend yourself and work really hard on defense? There's that same play with Tinkle breaking from the baseline behind.
Hollins.
A lot of energy off good offense. Made shots naturally.
Ooh, wow, that's a tough one for Sewing. Gordon goes down to the floor to pick it up, gets it off to Sewing, and so a new possession for Cal.
Contact on that possession.
Sewing took a big hard fall. Now here's Kelly with the shot clock winding down. And there's Hollins to rip.
And Cal getting decent looks, just not even really getting close with the thing. Back to that zone, trying to get it squared away. See if Oregon State can run another set play and get another easy shot like it did actually the last two possessions.
Ethan Thompson squeezes by Kelly.
It's the cutter into the high post area that Oregon State is capitalizing on right now, and Cal is not picking that up.
What can Cal find on offense here? Shooting up the shot clock as Tinkle pokes that away from Sewing. Another turnover from Bradley, and then that goes right past Vernon. A low pass from Tinkle that he couldn't handle.
Got a line change right here, Guy. 6 new players coming in, 3 for each. Cal just not attacking the zone very smartly right now, turning it over unnecessarily. A lot of times kids make bounce passes when you don't need to. Just make a straight pass to a teammate. The reason you make a bounce pass is to go through a hand that's there, but it's more difficult to handle, and sometimes you don't need to do that.
Darius McNeil back on the floor for Cal. He's the one running under the basket. He has 9 points. Here he is with it.
Cal relying on deep shots against this zone to get no penetration and no second shot opportunities.
Vernon almost wasn't ready for that.
That's sort of what I'm talking about in terms of making a pass to somebody for a reason. As you say, Vernon was surprised. Why are you passing it to me?
8 on the shot clock for Reichel. Not a lot of space on the floor right now. And that goes into the backcourt. Harris Dyson chases it down, and this one he throws down.
That shot was great lift by Harris Dyson. I will say that's worth a lot more at home than it is on the road because the crowd doesn't care. At home you get one of those and maybe it's a 5-point play because the crowd gets fired up.
Vernon. Now Stevie Thompson. Under 8 minutes remaining here in the first half. Reichel tries another 3. And there's Vanover.
Cal with a chance to take the lead. I mean, they're hanging, Guy.
Well, Stevie Thompson takes it away, knocks it off of Kelly. Possession arrow to Cal. Did he call a timeout? He did. Paris Austin called a timeout. So no possession arrow, which,
wow,
they didn't need it.
use their possession arrow. You hope kids would know, like you're going to have to win the Pac-12 tournament if you're not Washington to get a bid to the NCAA tournament. It's a whole lot easier if you have to play 3 rather than 4.
Oregon State, of course, home today and then home next week against Oregon as Tinkle knocks that out of bounds.
7 seconds on the shot clock. I was kind of curious to see what Cal would come out of that timeout with in terms of what they were trying to get. Tried to run a baseline runner, but they couldn't pass the ball through the defender down there.
Into Sewing, he couldn't handle it.
It's an unforced error. It's just what's been killing. It's been killing Cal.
And if that's on Sewing, that's his second.
It was on a reach.
It is on him. 7th team foul on Cal as well, so 1-1 free throws now coming. Antoine Vernon, who is 13 of 13 from the free throw line so far in this his freshman season.
Sometimes you have to trust your players to know how to play and not get a third. Looks like they're going to go with Brandon Tisevich to come in for Sewing. A little bit bigger body. You hate to come out, but when you make a silly foul, you need to know there are consequences. A reaching foul, you're generally not going to get away with that, especially right in front of the official.
So Anticevich's appearance is his first of the day. The 6'8 sophomore. Lane violation. So that Antoine Vernon will not have his first. Oh, was on Oregon State?
Yeah, he missed it anyway.
So he was 14 of 14 before that.
I wonder if that counts as a miss because he didn't really get a chance to shoot it. Got numbers if you take it. Got numbers.
Vanover fouled. No. Basket interference on Kelly, so the basket counts, a goaltend.
Yeah, he went up through the net, it looked like. Vanover's got to get that thing. Kelly goes for the fake. He goes up. Yep, that's a good call. Don't know that it affected the ball, but it looked like it might have knocked it out. But nonetheless, that's the call that needs to be made.
Vernon, by the way, 1 of 1 at the free throw line to answer your question. So it saves him at least as far as that's concerned.
Yeah.
Here's Austin, difficult shot, and that hit the rim on the way up. And now Kelly commits his second foul.
Foul, the smallest player on the floor when you're the 7-footer in there. Austin couldn't finish. He got off balance. Getting use of the trap. Over the top. Austin catches, doesn't get his legs underneath him. Rebounds. Kelly gets a second. That's critical. Kelly's going to have to probably come out of the game if that is indeed his second guy. Is that correct?
Yep.
Although Cal doesn't really have a big guy that create foul trouble. Kelly's gotten sort of on random sort of plays inside there. Here comes Washington into the game for Kelly. So Sewing out with 2, Kelly out with 2. Coaches playing it by the book. Sometimes you roll the dice, but I don't think with 7 to go in the first half, that's the time that you do.
Austin makes both.
And don't look now, the Bears are up 2.
5 lead changes already in this first half.
Kind of keeping the crowd out of this thing, and that's critical when you're on the road as well.
Stanford did a good job of that here on Thursday night. Zach Reichel with 8 on the shot clock. Stevie Thompson Jr. for Tinkle. A high arcing rain-making 3. And it gets knocked by Washington over to Austin.
I think that maybe Washington needs to try to get physical with Vanover, see if he can't get another foul on him.
Cal shooting at 47% right now for the game. Harris Dyson forces his way inside. And there's a foul on Washington. His first and the team's 5th.
Good penetration right there by Dyson. Comes in, has Tinkle, can't push off his left, gets inside. Washington should have been inside to start with. Instead, he tried to block it from behind. So Cal with a chance to go up 5. Oregon State's got to get a little energy going here. They got to get the crowd into this thing. The longer that Cal thinks they have a chance to win, tougher it's going to be for Oregon State.
Haven't hit a field goal in 3.5 minutes until now.
Penetration versus the zone. He goes right at the 7'3" Vanover. Vanover does his job initially, but can't follow up.
6 points for Stevie Thompson Jr. now.
One thing it seems like Cal, nice drive against that zone.
That's McNeil.
Yes. Holland's going to come back in. Coach Tinkle did not like that defensive possession.
McNeil averages 11 points per game. He has 11 in this half to lead all scorers. Ethan Thompson had it poked away by Harris Dyson.
They got numbers now. Oh, my.
Reichel takes it, and then Harris Dyson commits his third foul.
Make the simple play, young man. You have numbers on the break, and you try to throw a cross. Just take it to the basket and make your teammates better. They had numbers. The 3 Oregon State players behind the ball. And yet, Paris Austin has been so good for them. He's a player that has to be out there with his leadership and handle the ball, but he's got to make better decisions. He's got a lot of young players out there with him. They're looking for him to make good decisions.
The results in a young man with 7 points and a couple of steals going to the bench now with those 3 fouls.
Well, once the mistake's made, don't compound the mistake by making a second mistake, which he did by trying to steal it back.
Reichel's a fantastic free throw shooter. Five minutes remaining here in the first half.
Cal would love to go in at halftime with a lead on the road. Oregon State would love to get some momentum.
Ethan Thompson jump ball, and they go to the possession arrow. And now Cal gets another possession out of it. That's where the timeout that Paris Austin used earlier comes back to help the Bears.
Yeah, well, I don't know that he knew where the arrow was, but you got to admire the kid's guts. He goes into the big boys and gets a tie-up. That's where you got to try to create contact. You got to go into those arms, make the official make a call.
10 on the shot clock. Into Vanover.
Vanover's got to make those. He's playing above everybody else. See Tinkle trying to get into the defense. Defense is entitled to run up and straight down the floor. You can get an offensive foul for cutting off a defender.
And Tisevich cuts off Tinkle. Ethan Thompson bumped into Bradley.
Lots of time.
Paris Austin all over Stevie Thompson, and he commits his second foul, the 19th.
You have to play defense with your feet. You can't try to reach. Officials, as smart as they are, Guy, they will see a reach and call it every time.
Wait a second, that didn't... was
You're
that
not
two
taking it my
Was that
word?
2 compliments? It was weird there.
Now we got a young man on the floor that I don't know that I've seen before for Cal.
That's Jacob Orender, who played a career-high 4 minutes in the game against Oregon the other night.
Well, I didn't see that game, but I have not seen him in the game. But let's see if he can handle the pressure being on the road without much playing time.
This is his 7th game of the season.
Cal with a 4-point lead, Guy. Let's see what happens here this last quarter.
Orender with it there. And Tisevich was the intended receiver, and now Orender commits the foul on Ethan Thompson.
Well, he's got that part of the game down. He can reach too.
That's the 10th on Cal. So free throws for the final 4 minutes for Oregon State. And the Beavs a 74% free throw shooting group, and Ethan Thompson among the best at 76%.
And they are in the double bonus, which means it takes the pressure off the first one. It's not a 1-and-1. You're going to make mistakes in a game of basketball. It's just natural. Don't compound your mistakes. Get back and play defense. I always used to tell my guys, if they can't score, they can't beat us. If we win 0-0 or 1-0, that's fine. We never did.
0-0?
1-0.
2-0 would have been a forfeit, I think.
Would have been a killing.
Under 4 remaining here in the first.
Critical for the Bears right now because Paris Austin is out of the game. He's obviously their team leader. They have a lead. Got to get good shots, less dribble, more pass, move the zone.
Orander hounded by Ethan Thompson, who then gets the rebound. Trace Tinkle unattended for a three.
Bad shot leads to great shot for your opponent coming down the floor. Now the crowd's into it a little bit as the Beavs move ahead. Tinkle trying to get the crowd going.
McNeil, difficult shot.
Wow.
What a three. Darius McNeil now with 14 first half points.
Although, honestly, that was a great shot by McNeil, but if you're Wayne Tinkle, you can live with that. That was a tough one. That's all you're going to give up. You're going to be fine. You're going to make some, but that was a great shot.
Tinkle has that knocked away. Here's McNeil out in front. What a game he's having.
Timeout.
He's got half of Cal's points. 16 of the 32 for the Bears belong to Darius McNeil.
Cal not really attacking the zone very smartly.
Points to lead Oregon State, but the story right now is Darius McNeil, who has 16 points for Cal. That's half of the Bears total.
There's that trap coming out of the timeout. Another trap in the corner. He's going to take a timeout.
Nope.
Yep, well, that's a timeout that he will not have in the second half because he's already called his first timeout, the lose-it timeout.
Coming up on the State Farm Halftime Report in our San Francisco studio.
So let's see what Wayne Tinkle draws up. There's that high post again.
Alfred Hollins fouled, and he'll go to the free throw line to shoot two.
You know, we've watched some teams that have gotten defensively and they've played straight up with their arms and created contact down underneath, which the officials won't call. We're seeing a lot of reaching here. Cal getting themselves in trouble with fouls a little bit on the reach. Hollins doesn't cash in. If you're Oregon State, you better be aware of traps out of timeouts and dead balls because they've done that effectively 3 or 4 times.
Zizovic, who committed the foul, sit down. Jacoby Gordon back in. Well, Cal's got to try and get to the final 2.5 minutes here of the first half without Juwan Harris-Dyson, who's sitting with 3 fouls. And the point guard, Paris Austin, is sitting with 2.
Most of those are unforced fouls. That's what's disappointing. Fouls they could have avoided had they not used their hands. But here we have, you know, the reason we didn't have Orander on my sheet anyways, played 9 minutes all season long. So you didn't expect it. He's in critical time right now.
And the 4 minutes he played against Oregon were not at the end of the game. Those were in the first half on Wednesday night. And also, by the way, Justice Suing sitting with 2 fouls. So a lot of firepower on that Cal bench at the moment. But McNeil's been the key.
He has been. Anytime you have a player go off, that gives you a great chance. All right, 12 seconds. Get the ball out of your hands.
A turnover. Thompson's been all over Orander.
Somebody's got to come help him out. Kid's played 9 minutes. You know that. Go get the ball from him. Make a play. Joaquin doesn't have a lot of choice here. He's got to kind of roll with him. Kid's from transfer from Lafayette, so he's not a youngster. He's been around a little bit. Still, if you're Oregon State, you've got to score.
Ethan Thompson steps by Gordon. Beautiful touch.
Really was. He chose not to take the clear open shot and drive in the lane. Took a tougher shot.
Matt Bradley a charge. That's the first on him.
Last couple plays have been critical with 1:33. The Bears have a chance to go in, but well, he caught enough of them to warrant a charge right there. A lot of Cal's wounds are self-inflicted, guy. Take your time, get shots. That's what happens when you're having a hard time winning games. You lose your confidence.
And yet still in front by 1 until that shot from Trace Tinkle. And that puts the Beavs back in front. And Tinkle's in double figures for the 57th straight game.
Once again, an orchestrated play, called play. Tinkle snuck up and behind as Korsavich ducked. And they found him. They knew where he was going to be. And Tinkle will finish those all night long.
Gordon, too strong. Under a minute now remaining in the first. Trace waving his teammates ahead. He goes crashing into Gordon, who gets called for the blocking foul.
I don't know if he's in a restricted area. He took a violent take, but you need to move in there and take it with your chest.
I thought live he was in the restricted area. Let's see.
Yeah, left foot was in a restricted area, and he really wasn't square. That's just anticipation. Tinkle going to convert these, my guess. Up 3. Cal needs a possession, a quality possession right here in a basket. They've been in control really most of the first half, and now all of a sudden find themselves down 3. If I'm Oregon State, I'm guarding McNeil. I'm going to find him wherever he is. Make somebody else make a play.
He's on the arc to the left of the screen as Bradley goes all the way to the basket, but a foul on Reichel before he got to the hoop.
Doesn't hurt you. That's just the 6th. 43 seconds left. Cal retains possession.
Reichel will sit down. 2 on him. Hollins back in.
Need a good possession. Good shot.
Screen from Vanover. Again, McNeil a 3. And just about everything else has been falling for him. Now the shot clock is off. Trace Tinkle sees it, and they'll set up to try to get the last shot of the half.
And they will get one. They'll have a set. Most likely against the zone. It'll be Tinkle down, breaking into that high post area, trying to play behind it, although right now he's setting the screen up high, going to pop off of a flare screen. There's the man breaking into the middle.
Stevie Thompson Jr. knocks in the three-pointer. And Oregon State, who saw a charge from Cal, goes into the locker room with a 6-point lead.
Wow, that again was a set play. They flared Tinkle, and it's no joke. Those pre-med curriculums are difficult.
So he played just 12 minutes in the first half. Foul trouble, he had 2 points. And so Oregon State brings what is a spotless record when leading at halftime so far this season. The Beavs 11-0 on the year. Tyler Kelly gets fouled by Juwan Harris-Dyson, who just picked up his 4th foul.
Well, there was a set play coming out of halftime. You watched them stack up on one side, you know, and you've got to know where Tinkle is. They drop it into the middle on a baseline drive. Kelly's got to go up and throw that down. Of course, Kelly needs to get in the weight room, but boys, he made progress coming out of high school where nobody wanted him, and now he's nation's leader in blocked shots. Got a nice touch on the slender side for sure, but it's been a great find for Oregon State University.
You see the 3.6 blocks per game, leads the league. Did not have one in the first half, played just 7 minutes because he had a couple of fouls. And so he's got his first points of the day.
All right, coming out of the halftime now, Cal's got to generate a little enthusiasm. They can't let it get away from them right here. It's all of a sudden 8. First couple possessions, both offensively and defensively, going to be really important. Is Oregon State going to break the rhythm up by playing man? You can see they're guarding McNeil.
Reichel went down and he's limping. He's hurt as Sewing scores. And Reichel is really hurt.
Yeah, he's got an isolation right there in man. And Sewing's a good player, 6'7". He can play inside and outside, but I'm going to stop it right here and get Reichel off. Looked like he probably turned the ankle a little bit. See if we can get a look.
He's wearing 11 right there.
All right, so don't see anything yet. Well, he has to come down with that left ankle on the foot.
Maybe knee-to-knee contact right there on the left.
Let's see where he got bent back there a little bit. Yeah, almost like hyperextended a little bit. But knee-to-knee contact hurts.
See him going off and into the locker room with the medical examining area. Under 10 seconds on the shot clock.
Oregon State is capitalized. Is in the middle of that zone.
Hollins blocked by Vanover. That's the second block of the game. And it goes out of bounds before the shot clock expires.
Different kind of blocks for Vanover. He doesn't jump. He just extends his arms up and you shoot into him. You have to rise up to get above those long arms.
7'3" here in the start today after having the 15 points career high against Stanford. Then he played on Wednesday well off the bench with 12 points in 27 minutes, with the second highest total of his freshman year.
All right, so Oregon State now back, double fist. If nothing else, it is a zone.
McNeil, but there's Bradley, forces his way inside, and Matt Bradley has his first points of the day.
Nice weak side rebound by Bradley, patient off the glass to score it. Cal staying with the zone.
We always talk about how Luke Dort should be a football player, but what about Matt Bradley's freshman build?
Well, yeah, Bradley's a big guy, no question, broad shoulders, has good touch. I guess just naturally look at a body like that and you think football player, but I'd sure prefer to play a sport that doesn't require a helmet.
Here he is with it now. Got a good three-point shooter, but he goes up top to Vanover.
Just drew Kelly up enough thinking he was going to shoot that ball, and he lobbed it behind to Vanover. Smart play. Maybe somebody else for Cal will get going and give them a chance, other than McNeil, who had it going in that first half. But Cal's got to keep the ball out of the middle against this thing.
Oh, Kyler Kelly!
Cal has got to square the ball in the zone and keep it out of the middle. Oregon State is killing them by getting penetration against the zone. It's still just a 6-point game, though. They're in the middle of that zone right there.
Vanover tapped it off Thompson. It'll stay with Cal.
Right here you see Bradley take it in. Kelly steps up and Vanover goes behind. That's a smart play. See, there again is penetration against the zone. You're getting your 7-footers, you're getting them 100%ers. That's good offense both ways.
Kelly's been playing this second half with a scowl on his face. He just sat down.
Now he's got a bigger scowl on his face.
Chewing, baiting along the baseline. That was pretty.
Nice shot going to his left. He's a guy that can go to his right and shoot the ball as well. But, you know, again, Cal coming out of the halftime with a lot of confidence, making plays. They just got to get some stops. Oregon State needs to get a run going, try to get the crowd involved. That's good defense right there.
And Ethan Thompson creates space and then rattles in the jumper.
Good defense, better offense by Ethan Thompson right there. He pushed him back, stepped away, and made a tough shot.
Cal is shooting almost 52% on the afternoon, but Oregon State's at 63. Bradley's able to corral it and maybe got a little open, more open than anticipated, rolled off his fingertips.
He was thinking lob again. Ooh, nice steal right there. I don't think Big G's going to get there. Great contact.
Bradley does, and he'll go to the line.
Good call.
The second on Rakorcevic, and the first Oregon State foul of the second half.
See, there's a difference right there. Rakorcevic really was in good defensive position straight up, but he created contact. That's a good steal, anticipating the dribble. He's definitely in the restricted area, although you are allowed to jump in the restricted area, but he took it into contact, and I thought that was a good call.
Bradley misses the free throw. He's a 77% free throw shooter. And he's had a nice freshman year, shooting 49% from three, enters the day 9th in the nation in that category. He takes about 3 a game, and he's been scoring it in league play.
Yeah, his numbers, of course, in conference from three, not nearly as high as people have scouted and watched, and don't give him this, don't give him that. Here's a little trap up front, a little pressure. Dropping back in that zone. If you play in the zone, you want to force people to shoot over the top of you. Tinkle in the corner. There's Sewing's third. Got lifted. Tinkle just went right into the path of the airborne defender. Gets Sewing with his third as we head into a timeout. But the one thing about the Tinkle family, they'll give each other a jab every now and again in that family, I'm sure. Great relationship that Trey has with his dad.
He was fouled before the timeout. Of course, 3 sons on this team, Stevie Thompson and Ethan Thompson. What do you think of that dynamic and what it must be like for the Oregon State team to deal with? Here comes Trace Tinkle taking on Vanover, and he throws it down.
See, he had that planned. He wasn't going to take it up soft. He saw the 7-footer. I mean, I hate to say this, but if you're Vanover, you can't let him even get the shot off. Once again, Cal with an advantage turns it into a disadvantage. Tinkle took it up. That's what gets the crowd going. The crowd now is going to get into it. Takes it from 5 to 7. Chance to go to 8.
What do you think it's like for Oregon State? What it must be like, and of course, family all over. His sister's watching closely.
Well, you know, it helps when your son is your best player. It's hard when he's not and he's coming off the bench and other people think he's taking your time. Keep in mind that the 3 best players are coach's sons, the 2 Thompson brothers and Tinkle. So I think the team likes having players that good.
Suing remaining in the game with the 3 fouls.
He's got to be smart, though, Guy. He's got to understand he can't make a silly foul and get lifted to earn the right to stay in the game. If Cal's going to have a chance, I think Suing has to be in there and make plays.
Plus, when you're recruiting, don't you love finding out a player you're recruiting as a coach's son?
Yeah, generally speaking, they're smart. They know how to play.
Collins, Vanover denies it, but here's Stevie Thompson Jr. teeing up a 3.
Boy, you get a block shot, it kicks back out to one of the best shooters on the floor. Oregon State gets a 3. That's just kind of the bad luck that Cal's playing in right now. But coaches' sons, typically, you know they understand the game. And basketball IQ is a big part of success.
McNeil denied by Rakorcevic. Ethan Thompson races by McNeil. Here's Stevie Thompson. No, he thought he had that.
Be careful now here, Justin. They're going to wait for you. They're going to try. Okay, smart play. Back it out 1 on 3. They would have been waiting stacked up to did a charge right there.
6 minutes gone by. Largest lead of the game for Oregon State. Bradley in on Tinkle over Rakorcevic. And who that touch lasted hit Oregon State. So it'll be Cal basketball as Reichel and Kelly will check back in for the Beavs. And Rakorcevic and Tinkle get a rest and get a hand.
Right there, what I think one of the issues that Joaquin Jones has had with his people is just that one-on-one, you know, all of a sudden between your leg, dribble, try to take it yourself rather than move the ball and assist each other. Natural tendency when you're young to think you can do it yourself.
McNeil has yet to score in this half, and he's still been called in the second after the 16-point first half.
The wide open one. First half, he'd have nailed that.
7 of 9 shooting in the first, including a couple of threes.
Get the sense you're kind of in danger, even though there's 13 minutes, you're kind of in danger zone right here if you're the Bears.
Stevie Thompson Jr. all the way in.
No resistance once again in his zone. He just splits the coverage, gets right in the paint, and lays it up.
The first double-digit lead for either team today. Bradley. And that quiets the crowd for the moment.
It does. And Bradley has a capability of doing that, but again, just taking off and trying to make one-on-one plays on your own in the long haul gets you in trouble.
Stevie Thompson Jr. sprints inside and scores.
So the forwards close out on top. He takes it on the baseline. Where's your 7'3" player? He's tied up with the other player's post.
McNeil back to Suing. Steps in for a 2.
Nice ball fake right there to get him lifted. Make the offense prove they can make those shots with somebody there. Don't get lifted. He lifts, you lift, but until he does, you stay down on the ground.
Stevie Thompson couldn't quite follow that, but it goes out of Cal. It'll stay with the Beavs.
Thompsons are getting penetration anytime they want right now, Guy. They're getting into paint. They got to shut that off.
And credit to Cal. They've hit some shots here as Oregon State's tried to make a run. But the lead has swelled. It was 6 at the half in favor of the Beavs.
Okay, just one guy has to guard the ball. Everybody else has to find somebody.
Ethan Thompson finds Kyler Kelly.
Cal defensively has to move to passing lanes. There wasn't much. He was all dressed up with no place to go, and all of a sudden he got a wide open pass. Shut off passing lanes.
2 dunks in this half for Kyler Kelly. Paris Austin.
He doesn't like that three-point shot. He just doesn't have a good enough stroke from out there. He wants penetration.
Andre Kelly inside, and he scores and is fouled as the shot clock was down to 4.
Nice use of the rim to protect the ball from the shot blocker. Drops it inside. See, he comes to the other side, so Kelly can't get a piece of that ball. Gets a potential three-point play. What you're in danger of here, if you're Cal, is at what point does Cal say, oh, here we go again? You know, it's just natural that you start to stout yourself because you haven't had wins. So far, I haven't seen that, but you've got to be careful. They've got to stay together. They've got to try to make a run. Oregon State tries to plant that thought in their minds by scoring the ball and getting easy ones.
Last Cal conference win came February 3rd of last year at home against Oregon State. Cal has won 6 straight against the Beavs. Here's Reichel, hit a 3 in the first half. Does not hit this, but he gets fouled. He'll shoot 3 free throws.
Boy, you teach kids when you're going after a shooter to jump by. The shooter is allowed their space, and the space includes coming down on the floor. Let's see here. He throws it in the middle. Look underneath right there with Kelly. Takes the forward down. Reichel. So he got a piece of the arm going by.
It was on Paris Austin, his 3rd. And Reichel makes the first free throw. He's a very good free throw shooter at over 80%.
Sometimes what kids don't understand is good defense is making people miss. Not trying to block a shot, but making them miss so you can get out and go. You should really never try to block a perimeter shot. You can get him to cock or bring it back, change his shot, make him miss. You've done a good job.
2 of 3 for Reichel.
Three-quarter court press now, a little pester press.
So he gets it across.
So what that does, Guy, all of a sudden you start to set up in your zone offense, and there's 20 not going down right there.
Let's graze the rim. Ethan Thompson sees Reichel. Just hit a couple free throws. That didn't get him going from beyond, and here comes Austin. Kelly stalking, can't get there, but Sewing follows it up, and there's a foul.
Gonna get a three-point play. You know, one of the things that good offense does is, you know, we watch the replay. Paris is really good around getting to the basket. Kelly went up, tried for the block, should have maybe cleared a space and gone for the rebound. But what I started to say is good offenses know when your teammates are going to shoot the ball, and they anticipate those shots to get offensive rebounds positions. You get the sense that Cal at times doesn't know when their teammates are going to shoot, so they're not anticipating and getting good offensive rebound position.
Sewing got the free throw, so he has 11, the second Cal Bear in double figures.
Still just 6, Guy.
10 minutes left in regulation. Thompson.
Pure rhythm shot. Left foot pivot, foot down, just rises up, looks good. Oregon State starting to find more ways to score than just Trey Tinkle.
19 now for Stevie Thompson. Paris Austin from the mid-range.
Nice dish there.
Cal just doesn't go away.
No, they don't. You know, statistically, we talked about Cal not really defending very well, and it kind of shows itself here. I always used to tell my guys, look, they got 5, we got 5. Somebody shouldn't be open.
Stevie Thompson Jr. turns it over. Bradley with numbers. McNeil in on Ethan Thompson, and he couldn't get it to go down. Good defense by Ethan Thompson. Up ahead to Stevie again. He steps through, right to the basket, and he lays it in.
So Cal takes a layup, doesn't get it, and gets laid up at the other end. I'll tell you what I don't understand. I don't understand why players make bounce passes when they aren't necessary. He has a guy on his right side coming down the floor, and he bounces it and spins it, and it takes him out of a scoring opportunity.
Kelly.
Ooh, nice look inside. I like that move right there. Just a freshman. Kelly's got to be able to make that as he develops and matures.
Ethan Thompson.
Good closeouts right there. Shut off the baseline.
Ethan Thompson got in the air and turned it over. Andre Kelly, Paris Austin yelling that he's got him with him. And that is blocked out of bounds by Stevie Thompson Jr.
Should have probably just taken the power on the first side rather than try to spin. Defender backed out. Defender didn't want any part of it. Then he took it in and allowed him to get it. But again, Cal is such a young team, and it shows itself in a variety of different ways. Kids have to learn, and you're going to learn by making mistakes. They have to stay patient with these guys, and they have, but it's hard.
.26 on the shot clock. Plenty of time as Stevie Thompson Jr. went to the steal on Anticevic. Here's Vanover from the baseline.
I thought McNeil got a little gun shy right there. I thought he had a shot that he'd made several times in the first half, and without having the success in his second, he passed it up. Although sometimes that's good. Get your teammates involved.
16 in the first, 0 of 4 shooting in the second for McNeil. Ethan Thompson gets free.
Bucket here, takes it to 5 or 4.
What does Paris Austin see? Anticevic steps in.
Nice rhythm shot. Again, Anticevic not a three-point shooter. He's more of a rhythm shooter, two-point range, but that looked pure. So again, we have a 5-point game. A little momentum for Cal. As you said earlier, they do not go away. It's going to be incumbent upon the Beavers to make them go away.
Alfred Hollins gets it to Kelly, and he's just swarmed underneath, and it's taken away by Bradley. Austin pushing it up the floor. Austin doesn't get it down, but Vanover's there. Look at Cal. It's a 3-point game, a 6-0 run.
Paris Austin is disappointed that he didn't get that. He's really good getting to the basket, though. He got there, and Vanover cleaned up. So once again, are you going to get some leadership from Oregon State? Come back. Paris Austin, left hand, just barely. They were having a hard time understanding what you did do.
Well, they're not the only ones. But it was great to have them here today, and they're taking in the game.
All right, out of a timeout with a TV timeout coming. Let's see. There's that high post with Tinkle, and I like him with the ball in his hands. Understand he's left.
He finds Rekorcevic, who gets fouled by Paris Austin, who thought he had a clean block.
I sort of
Paris Austin, that's
to agree.
number
Let's see if we can
4.
see that.
Rekorcevic at the line when we return.
Question about it, but Paris Austin, they list him at 6. I doubt that he's 6, but he got that clean. That's too bad.
Now he's on the bench with 4 fouls, joining Juwan Harris-Dyson, who also has 4.
Officials sometimes anticipate rather than wait for the play, and that's why you see sometimes they wait till after the play to make that call. Thought he might have blown the whistle, and there he was. It does happen.
Oregon State is led by as many as 11 in this second half.
Cal hanging tough. Down 4 with the ball, but they got to continue to run good offense and get good shots.
Vanover takes a 3, and it goes down.
Use them all. Now we got a 1-point game. That's what advantage of having a guy that big that can shoot from out like that.
He's a 33% three-point shooter. He airballed his first look of the day, remember, in the first half, but that was big. Now here's Tinkle.
Just 10 on the clock now. Cal has to keep. Oh, wow, that's deep. Shot deep, rebounded deep.
And it's denied by Vanover.
Let's see what he does. 1-on-2. Good decision right there. Maybe there's a little maturity start to develop. Maybe early on he would have tried to take that. That was a smart play.
This Oregon State crowd trying to get in this. Sewing lost it and committed a foul. It's a charge on Sewing, and that's his fourth. Tinkle took it.
Wouldn't you know, though, out of control going in there. Anticipating the left hand. He beats him, but his hands are up. He doesn't reach, plays with his feet, and he gets that fourth foul. So Cal's got some critical foul trouble right now. But again, they're just one down with 5 to go. They've given themselves a chance. That's all you usually ask for on the road.
Oregon State is 12-0 this year when leading in the last 5 minutes. Tinkle pounded. That was deflected by Vanover, then got the loose ball. He's played well.
He has. He held his ground. He didn't go for fakes.
Bradley crashing inside. Ethan Thompson fouled. On the shot, he'll go to the line. That's the 7th team foul on Oregon State. And it's on Darius McNeil. That's just his first.
Darius McNeil maybe not getting involved in defense. So here comes Paris Austin back in the game. You got nothing to lose. There's 4.5. I mean, you want to have guys, your best players on the floor. Doesn't do you good to be down 8 with a minute to go with try to put your best players back in. But again, Thompson just takes it at contact and he creates a foul situation. Actually thought there was contact the last time down.
Harris Dyson back in with his 4 fouls as Bradley sits.
Here's where you're at home. You've got a veteran team. You're playing a team that hasn't won, that has a bunch of youngsters. You got to seal the deal. Got to plant it in Cal's mind. Cal's been pretty poised.
The Bears have not won on the road this season.
Haven't won much of any place.
And Tisevich, 3 on the shot clock. Harris Dyson, a 3. And Vanover can't pick it. Tinkle, a deep 3-pointer, right through.
That's where that defense sometimes makes you put more arc on the ball, and you generally make those. Tink's trying to get the crowd going. He knows he's got to have this.
Wayne Tinkle waving both arms in the air. His team defending with 9 on the shot clock. Sewing fouled and 1.
Potential 3-point play right here. Sewing left-handed, and he took it to his right and got all the way to the glass.
Before the timeout, he made the basket, and now he's at the line to try and complete a 3-point play. An 83% free throw shooter, and he does it. Sewing and Paris Austin and Juwan Harris Dyson all on the floor playing with 4 fouls.
Whoever can string together 2 or 3 really quality possessions probably going to win this game. Even though Oregon State's up 3, Cal can string together some quality possessions they can win, but they can't allow penetration.
Ethan Thompson gets in. Tinkle thought about that 3. The crowd started to groan. They thought he was going to take it. Step back for Ethan Thompson. Tough shot. What a shot.
That's what I'm talking about, a quality possession. To have players that can make that play when it's needed. That was a big-time shot.
Pushes it back to a 2-possession game.
.11 seconds on the shot clock. Paris Austin up top. High pick and roll.
Lost the ball, and it went off of Austin back to Oregon State.
Yep, hit his foot. It's a good call. Austin trying to get penetration, trying so hard to win, trying so hard to lead. Oh, no, that was a wrong call.
But we're not under 2 minutes, so they can't go look at that.
Wow, that's
2:29.
tough.
If that had happened 30 seconds from now, that'd be Cal basketball. Looked like it hit Hollins on the foot.
And the official that made the call did not see that, obviously. That's what I used to object to. Are you sure that's what you saw? Don't guess. Keep Oregon State in front of you.
Stevie Thompson with 8 on the shot clock. Tinkle with 2, with 1, and that was bothered by Vanover. Here comes Paris Austin now, under 2 minutes. Vanover, a three-pointer. Wow. He nailed it!
Big time.
A 2-point game.
By a trail 7-3. Is that what you draw up?
Wow.
Apparently.
What
2-point game
for him.
Yes, sir. Come alive in the second half, hadn't he?
Starting for the first time in about 3 weeks.
Always
today.
talked about how well he shot the ball from the perimeter.
McNeil just picked up his second foul, but what about Vanover on both ends?
It's just a little trick.
Arrow.
Interesting to note that Oregon State has only committed 14 fouls in a whole half of basketball.
1 and 1. Ethan Thompson earns a second.
Yep. But I mean, that's unusual that you get to this stage of the game and just have 14 fouls. So they have the luxury of being aggressive.
Clutch free throws for Ethan Thompson.
Ethan Thompson's come up big, 2 free throws and a step back. 4-point game, clearly not out of reach for the Bears, but they need a good possession right here.
This is Vanover, who just hit the 3 a moment ago. Suing. Back to Vanover. Loose ball. Vanover somehow gets it over to McNeil. Bradley, a 3-pointer. And Stevie Thompson, the rebound. That was right on line.
Wow, your best 3-point shooter percentage-wise right there. Calhoun's trying to make bounce passes to the 7-3 Vanover. Those are tough to handle. Even if you catch them, it's hard to convert them. They need to stop right here. Don't panic. It's a 4-point game, but don't panic.
Under a minute, Kelly. Oh, it doesn't go down, but he follows it with the tip. 6-point game.
Tinkle thought there was a foul, but maybe he's glad they didn't call it. Hey, what are you going to do, Cal? What do you got?
Bradley. Vanover blocked by Stevie Thompson. Shot clock is off. 6-point lead.
Well,
Cal needs a foul. And McNeil commits it.
Inside right there. Kelly goes right back up and tips it back in. That's a 6'3" guard blocking that shot.
And now Ethan Thompson, another clutch free throw.
Well, Ethan Thompson's been a huge guy at the end of this game. Everything he's done, he's turned to gold.
And he's been pure at the free throw line. So an 8-point deficit, under 24 seconds remaining. And Cal will use a timeout with 20 seconds now left.
Well, there's not a lot of things that you can do right here, but keeping them together, keeping their daubers up.
Here's Paris Austin into Bradley now, challenged by Kyler Kelly. And that looks like it'll do it. Oregon State's going to push it up ahead, then Ethan Thompson will pull it out. And the Beavs are going to break that 6-game losing streak to Cal and bounce back after the loss on Thursday. And they've now won 15 games for the 4th time under Wayne Tinkle, something that happened 4 times in the previous 22 seasons. And they improved.